Tan Sri Datuk Panglima Annuar Musa, the Minister of the Communications and Multimedia Malaysia, Tan Sri Michael Yeo, the President of KSI, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 2020 and now 2021, we literally arrived at the global pandemic era unannounced. And that also, in parallel, forced us to usher the new digital era. Digital, while it's not entirely new, however, this era where all of us are having that kind of immersion in the entire digital services, digital enablement, it is new. And this phenomena is also global. Of course, when we talk about the digital era, some people will feel very at ease. Some will feel very much out of place. The digital natives, those who have been growing up with internet, with mobile phone, with all the different applications, all the social media, will feel that this will make them experience like fish in water. Everything is so easy. They can order food and then the food will come to the doorstep. However, those non-digital natives, or shall I say, those who are from the industrial era, and maybe some from the agriculture era, will feel like, having to brush our teeth, using our left hand. If you're a right-hander, you feel that now you have to learn how to use left hand to brush your teeth. So that is actually quite a daunting task, having to cope and learn with that new skills, new competencies. Now in Malaysia, we are fortunate because Malaysia has a head start. We actually have started MSC way back in '96. Many pockets of initiatives has been launched since then. So, like it or not, it has laid considerable foundation. And now, My Digital, that was launched recently, has become a brand new pathway for the entire nation to become digitally enabled nation. Now, I see a huge difference here in our approach in My Digital compared to the earlier MSC. As I'm also the National Digital Council of Digital Economy and for IR. This is the first time a whole nation approach is deployed with all the 6 strategic trusts and a number of initiatives across entire society, all the ministries, all the private sectors, and so forth. We will hear a lot more from Mr. Fabian Biga shortly. Back to digital economy, it is defined as digitally enabled economy. And it is expected in Malaysia to play a big part of the economy, and that will account for about 20% of our GDP this year, according to the MDES. So it is clear that besides the importance of using digital economy, it is in fact imperative for Malaysia to launch itself using digital to become high-income nation in time to come. Now, to accomplish all this, we need to awaken to the fact that we are faced with that unique situation in our structure of the government, structure of the corporate, structure of the society, of which our leadership may or may not be directly so connected with the digital era or digital usage or digital culture. So we need to develop that digital leadership across all the public and private sectors. That is a leadership that believe in digitally enabled organization. And therefore, together we go big with the digital. Big means the breakthrough, B-I-G, breakthrough, and then achieve that level of integrity and consistency and believe that it is a force of good. So digital leadership to go big with digital together. And digital leader is the one that will also drive the change management and also build the digital culture for this era. So building digital culture, we also have to look into how ready are our people. So that's why one of the main themes, it is about enabling digital talent. For digital natives, it is very easy for them to pick up all these additional competencies, digital skills. However, for the existing people, existing talent, we need to upskill and reskill them. And it must not be an ad hoc process. It must not be an add-on process. It must be a kind of a rigorous process over a longer period of time. It's not like 2-day quick fix. You attend this seminar that you become digitally competent. So digital competency and skills, it is not theory. It is about doing it. So we all can grow by doing it. And we all, from the young, middle age, and silver hair, will have to go through a different approach in acquiring and mastering these new digital skills. So today, we have good lineup of our sessions in the summit. We will hear special keynote from the minister, special address by Mr. Goh Peng Ooi. We have various topics on the digital talents, digital technology, digital economy, digital identity, and so forth. I'm sure we will pick up a lot of new wisdom, new insights, and march towards digital success together. So I wish everyone a most fruitful summit. And lastly, in this digital era, we want to work and trust the young people to co-lead with us in this new era. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dato Wei Chuan Beng, Senior Executive Director of KSI and Champion of Digital Productivity Nexus MPC. Some very key points Dato Wei Chuan Beng mentioned. He mentioned about the two sides, some people that will feel at ease and then people that will feel out of place. He mentioned about a new approach that the government has taken with the My Digital Blueprint for a digital enabled economy, building on a legacy foundation, which includes the multimedia super corridor. He mentioned about digital leadership to build digital culture and the need for us to introduce holistic, not piecemeal changes. He mentioned that these changes must cover everyone, silver hat, great hat, and also black hat. And he mentioned about the need for the young people to co-lead with people with experience so that we can build this digital leadership that can bring Malaysia into the next level. Thank you so much, Dato Wei Chuan Beng. And now we will build on that because I have the honor and privilege of inviting YB Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Town Planner Annuar Haji Musa, Minister of Communications and Multimedia Malaysia, to deliver the opening keynote address on reinventing the digital economy, the key to success post-crisis. Minister, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all. Tan Sri Michael Yeo, President, KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific, Dato Wei Chuan Beng, Senior Executive Director, KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me, and it is my pleasure to be here at the second Malaysia Digital Economy Summit organized by KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, in the early months of 2020, as lockdown swept the globe, all sectors shifted to working from home almost instantly, and children started attending online classes. Governments built virtual contact tracing systems and disbursed stimulus payments through digital mechanisms. People had to rely on the internet to access information, social support, educational and work opportunities. The internet kept us afloat in the face of the pandemic in a very positive way. However, those who could not afford high bandwidth connectivity could not undertake routine activities like education and work. With connectivity being important for essential services such as health and education, the inequalities became worse. There was an obvious divide in access to high-speed fixed and mobile connectivity. Even among fixed broadband subscribers, many are not getting sufficient speeds for effective remote work, telemedicine, or study, including in developed countries. There is another bigger divide in adoption where those with coverage may not use the internet due to lack of affordability, digital skills, or relevant content in the local language. Businesses, be they small and medium-sized enterprises or large corporations too, face similar challenges during the crisis. We are now in a new normal. As such, connectivity must become the top priority, and stakeholders such as telcos and industry verticals, multinational corporations, governmental and non-governmental organizations must mobilize to develop strategies to accelerate digital inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the digital economy is very important for Malaysia to regain its competitive edge. In 2018, the contribution of digital economy to the national economy continued to expand at ringgit Malaysia 267.7 billion, registering a growth of 6.9%. In 2017, the ICT services recorded gross output value of ringgit Malaysia 144.8 billion with the annual growth rate value of 7.8% per annum. In line with the rapid growth in gross output, the value of intermediate input also increased by ringgit Malaysia 8.4 billion, thus resulting in a value added of ringgit Malaysia 74.3 billion. The highest annual growth rate of gross output was recorded by 9.9% for telecommunication services. Income through e-commerce transactions recorded a value of ringgit Malaysia 447.8 billion in 2017 compared to ringgit Malaysia 398.2 billion in 2015 with an annual growth rate of 6%. This figure is expected to rise tremendously following the lockdowns as e-commerce transactions become the norm. Ladies and gentlemen, the government will ensure that technology adoption and innovation will be the building blocks to spur growth across all sectors. The adoption of advanced technology, particularly the fourth industrial revolution technologies, will be promoted in a high technology-based economy. The 12th Malaysia Plan intends to maximize the potential of the digital economy. The talent and skills required to drive both the digital economy and fourth industrial revolution will be enhanced, while research, development, commercialization, and innovation will be further intensified. Malaysia will also aggressively attract investment in the digital economy to become the regional leader. This policy enabler outlines two game changers. One is enhancing digital connectivity for inclusive development, and two, aligning research and development towards commercialization, wealth generation, and economic growth. The successful implementation of this policy enabler will ensure 100% 4G coverage in populated rural areas, wider 5G coverage, 100% urban and rural household subscribing to the internet, 2.5% gross expenditure on research and development to GDP, 10.5% contribution of e-commerce to GDP, and 25.5% contribution of the digital economy to GDP, better preparing Malaysia to be a high technology-based economy. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier in the year, the then Prime Minister launched the My Digital initiative, which included the Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint. This initiative aims to complement the 12th Malaysia Plan and the Vision for Shared Prosperity 2030. To recap, My Digital sets out a combination of initiatives and targets across 3 phases of implementation until the year 2030. By the year 2025, the digital economy is expected to contribute 22.6% to the country's GDP. At the same time, the plan also aims to provide 500,000 job opportunities in digital economy. The government also encourages 875,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises to accept the use of e-commerce. In addition, these initiatives under the auspices of My Digital also serve as catalysts for 5,000 startup companies to begin their operation in the next 5 years. These initiatives will be the starting point to attract new investment worth 70 billion ringgit in the digital sector from within and outside the country. The government is also targeting for the level of productivity of the economic sector to increase by 30% higher than what that has been achieved today by 2030. For the public sector, all agencies will provide cashless transaction facilities as the main option by 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, I must also address the threats that come with digital technology. Cyber threats are important to be looked at and addressed. Based on Malaysia's cybersecurity report, the Cyber 999 Help Center stated that as of 30th September 2021, a total of 8,226 cyber incidents were reported, of which the top 5 incidents were fraud, intrusion, malicious code, cyber harassment, and attempted intrusion. It is also reported that fraud is the highest and the most frequent reported incidents in the country. To improve the country's cyber security ecosystem, 3 important aspects need to be taken into consideration: the human factor, processes, and technologies. In order to face the current and any upcoming cyber threats, the government or any organization need to take a holistic, adaptive, and comprehensive approach that covers all these aspects. With the advent of digital technology and how benefiting it is, we must not forget the importance of cybersecurity to ensure the safety of users. As we all understand, the threats are real and many have become victims. Ladies and gentlemen, for Malaysia to achieve a vibrant digital economy, our digital transformation must also be inclusive. The Jendela My Digital initiative, together with the 12th Malaysia Plan, will also integrate the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to ensure that we leave no one behind. Digital development and connectivity should be a top priority. The economic and behavioral trends brought about by the pandemic has challenged public and private sectors to rethink and prioritize digital in the future, taking into consideration of need to address cyber threats. The government and industry players must accelerate action to bridge the gap. Only strong collaboration and partnership will be meaningful enough to close the digital divide gap. Before I end my remarks, let me emphasize I'm excited for the future of the digital economy of the country more than ever, as we now have the capacity to turn crises into new opportunities. Let us build a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable future for Malaysia. Hoping this summit will be a great success, I wish all of you the best. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.